All right, everybody, I'm seeing 11:30 Central Time. We're going to go ahead and get started with our RMS Brown Bag training session today, and it's going to be covering closeouts. I do want to remind everybody that we do have an RMS YouTube website, I guess not website, a channel, and you can go there to view any other trainings, but also this training will be uploaded in about a week or so as well, in case you need to reference it or pass it on to others. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to the the presenter, and thank you for attending.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. My name is Phil. I'm with the RMS team, and welcome to this month's Brown Bag training session. So this month's Brown Bag training topic will cover the steps needed to close out a contract in RMS. Now, as a reminder, this presentation is not meant to convey guidance on best practices, business processes, or policies that govern contract administration. As always, please check with your district for any deviations from this presentation. This training is being recorded, and the recording will be posted to our YouTube channel within the next 5 business days. Okay, so what is a contract closeout? Well, a contract closeout occurs when a contractor has met all the terms of the contract and all administrative actions have been completed, all disputes have been settled, and final payment has been made. This includes those administrative actions that are contractually required, for example, property, security, patents, and royalties. Now, some benefits of timely and proper contract closeouts include: it ensures that all invoices are paid. It mitigates risks to losing funds to interest payments. Ensures agencies remain compliant with the Prompt Payment Act. It de-obligates remaining funds. It creates archived contract files in accordance with FAR 4.805, and it reduces the number of open contract files needing management. Now, several activities are included as part of the contract closeout. Punch list items are completed. CPAR's evaluations are performed. Transfer of real property takes place. Transfer of as-built plans and specifications. Transfer of installed property. Transfer of remaining funds. And lastly, initial red zone meeting takes place. Now, always check your contract for contract-specific requirements. The following items are closeout submittal requirements. Project record documents like O&M manuals, catalog cuts and parts lists, diagrams, and O&M training records. Spare parts data, preventive maintenance information, certification of EPA designated items, warranty management, mechanical testing and balancing, and cleanup documentation. Now, RMS provides for the input of data to allow the creation of all necessary closeout forms for a construction contract. Forms like real property items, real property transfer, which would be the DD 1354, requisitions, which would be DD 1149, CPAR, which stands for Contract Performance Evaluation Report, which is DD 2626, and warranty tracking inspection screens and reports. So let's start with real property. To get to the real property module, open your contract, and then from the contract menu screen, click on the Closeout tab, and then click on the real property module. So as a reminder, real property is anything attached to the land, buildings, parking lots, electrical systems, etc. For military construction contracts, real property is required to be documented by use of the DD Form 1354. This form is used to transfer a facility or part of a facility to the using service prior to or on partial or complete occupancy. Civil works projects with the Project Cooperation Agreement, or PCA, transfer and warranty procedures should be addressed in that agreement. Now, for other civil works projects where the Corps will operate and maintain the facility, appropriate procedures for transfer and warranty enforcement should be established in general accordance with this regulation. Now, contractors can now create the real property items and submit them for government acceptance. Notice that the contractor cannot see or edit all the fields that the government can see or edit. Displayed here are the fields that the contractor can enter for the government. Contractors may need to discuss with the Real Property Accountability Officer, or the RPAO, and may need assistance with determining quantities. Okay, all contractor-added real property items must be reviewed and accepted by the Corps for use on the DD 1354. For each real property item, the Corps needs to determine if the real property item will be included in the DDC final DD 1354 cost calculations. The Corps retains the ability to add real property items as before. Now note, these real property items that are added by the government will already show as accepted, and the contractor cannot edit those unless the government allows. When the accepted checkbox is checked, contractors can no longer make changes. Unchecking the accepted checkbox will allow the contractor to edit the top portion of the RP item. After accepted, the Corps can update any block as needed. Only the Corps can edit the funding information for each of the real property items. When there are multiple funding sources for a real property item, check the multiple checkbox to show the extra funding sources. You can see the multiple box here right about in the middle of the screen. Now note that the government users can set the percentage of the second and third funding sources only. The first funding source percentage will be calculated based on the second and third percentages entered. Now let's go to the Transfers DD 1354 module. Again, from the Closeout tab, click on the Transfers DD 1354 module. Now, there are three phases of Form DD 1354. First, you have the draft phase, and this is completed prior to construction by the installation RPAO. The field office will provide to the contractor after the construction award. Next is the interim phase, and this allows the transfer of accountability from the construction agent to the accountability service on the placed in service date. Typically, this happens prior to final cost determinations. And the last phase is the final phase. And that's when the final costs of construction are accrued. The construction agent furnishes the final form to the accountable service. There is only one final project DD Form 1354. Now, two reminders. The place in service date on the DD 1354 is the same date as the actual beneficial occupancy date, or BOD. The transfer document milestone date is the same date as the actual BOD date. Now, information on each of the three tabs that you see here must be populated prior to creating the DD 1354. Now, on this tab that you see, you will enter the date the document was prepared, all the header information to be displayed, and any real property items to be included on this DD 1354. Now, if your office has already filled out the office description information in the local office module, you can use the Select Office button to populate most of the header information in the top section of this screen. And as you can see, here is the Select Office button here. Make sure you indicate the transfer type by checking the appropriate box for the first transfer type. Then select whether it was a total or partial transfer in the transfer type secondary selection box. For the form type, this is where you select whether this document is the draft, interim, or final document. For signature information, you can manually enter the transferred by signature and title information, or you can select the Select Signature box to bring up a staff lookup box and select the signer from there. The accepted by signature must be manually entered. Now, to add real property to this form, click on the Add button. To view the details of that RP item, double-click on it or single-click it and then click on the Edit button. Now, real property items can be added in any order. These properties will show on the form in the order listed in the Property Items section. If you need to change the order, simply click on the item you wish to move and drag it to the new location. Okay, so now we're on the Deficiencies tab. This is the area where users can add known deficiencies to the DD 1354 form from the QA/QC deficiency listings. Now, for each deficiency that's added, the description of that deficiency will show in the deficiency description box when the deficiency is selected from the data grid above. Click on the Add button to bring up the list of deficiencies that can be added to this DD 1354 form. Once added, the list of deficiencies will show in the data grid. Any additional comments regarding deficiencies can be added in the Additional Construction Deficiencies text box at the bottom of the screen. Any deficiency added in error can be removed by simply selecting the erroneous deficiency and then clicking on the Delete button. Okay, so now we're on the Remarks tab. Here you enter the project description and cost for planning and design, supervision and administration, design during construction, and equipment costs. Now note that since some of the real property items may already have the DDC applied to them, if you need them to apply to all the real property and aren't sure if they have been added, RMS has provided a quick way to do that by checking the Apply DDC to All Real Property box, which you can see right here in the middle of the screen. Okay, so to ensure the accuracy in the cost amounts, always coordinate with budget personnel prior to completion. Any project remarks that need to be noted and aren't noted elsewhere in the form can be added in the project remarks text box. When all data has been entered into this transfer item, verify that the sum of all of the costs equal the total contract value. Once everything is entered correctly, you can then generate and download the final form to your local computer, which we'll discuss on the next slide. Then if you need the document to be added to PCF, click on the Add button next to the Document Package section at the bottom of the screen. It will generate and open a new document package where you can upload and sign the completed final version of this DD 1354 form. Once done, complete the document package to send this form to PCF. Okay, so there are two ways you can generate the DD 1354. The first is from the Inside the Transfers DD 1354 module, which you saw on the previous slide, by simply clicking on the DD 1354 icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Once open, choose the Save icon to save the report as a PDF file to your local computer. You can also generate the form from the Contract Reports module. You would go to the Contract menu screen and click on the Contract Reports tab. Click on the arrow next to the Closeout section and click on the DD Form 1354 report. Then select the DD Form 1354 file and click on Preview. Once open, click on the Save icon to save the report as a PDF file to your local computer. Okay, so now let's move on to the Requisition DD 1149. Again, open your contract, click on the Closeout tab, and then click on the Requisition DD 1149 module. The DD Form 1149 is used to document the transfer of property to the customer. Excuse me. And it should include transfers to and from the contractor and the Corps of Engineers. Note that this is different than the DD 1354, which is used to transfer properties like land, buildings, or for things fixed in buildings, that is real property. This form is used for property like spare parts, materials, or equipment that need to be transferred. This transfer may take place in more than one stage. If this happens, you will need a DD Form 1149 for each transfer. Transfer property is property that changes hands during the construction process. Examples of transfer property would include government furnished property the contractor would install or consume during the contract. Now, when you open the Requisition DD 1149 view, the data grid will display all the DD 1149s that have been previously entered. Double-click on any of the items listed to view, or click on the Add button to add a new one. On the Header tab, fill out all of the shipping and appropriations data information. When you move over to the Transfer Property tab, you will add and enter each item that is transferred by clicking on the Add button to add a new property, or double-clicking on an item you wish to update. The Add button will open a lookup dialog box for all transferable property that the contractor has entered in RMS. Once the contractor enters transfer property on his side, the DD 1149 should be created by the government. When you double-click on a transfer property item, it will open to the Transfer Property Edit view. This is where you can enter the supply action, container type, container number, and quantity requested for this particular property. You will be able to see the property description, but will not be able to edit it. This can only be edited by opening the transfer property in the QC Requirements module. Once all requirement data has been entered, the DD 1149 form should be submitted along with the installed property report with the DD 1354. This data creates an audit trail of where transferred property was delivered. Okay, so next we're going to go to transition over to CPAR evaluations. So again, open your contract, click on the Closeout tab, and then click on the CPAR Evaluations module. So CPAR stands for Contractor Performance Assessment Report System. Now currently there is no direct interface between CPARs and RMS. Information entered in RMS can help organize what needs to be entered into CPARs. Now, some users have found that it is easier to export the information entered in RMS to a text file and then copy and paste it into CPARs. Now, how information is entered into CPARs is up to district policy. So please consult with your district on how to get information into CPARs. Now, performance evaluations contain both government and contractor comments to provide a balanced view of performance, allowing source selection of officials to look beyond contractor references. Now, past performance information is relevant information when considering contractors for future source selections. So, your input will aid in proper selection of the best candidates for the job. It includes the contractor's record of conforming to requirements and to standards of good workmanship, forecasting and controlling costs, adherence to schedules including the administrative aspects of performance, reasonable and cooperative behavior and commitment to customer satisfaction, reporting into databases, integrity and business ethics, and lastly, business-like concern for the interest of the customer. So why do we have CPARs? Well, simply stated, it's because they're required. So for further information, please see the FAR clauses listed here on this slide. To fill out and complete a CPAR form, RMS has split the data into the 6 tabs listed as contractor name and address, contract information, miscellaneous information, small business utilization, ratings, and assessor. Now, as you see here on the contractor name address tab, you will be able to update the contractor's division, product service code, and the NAICS code. Note, the NAICS code can usually be found in RMS in the prime contractor module. However, product service code and division are not kept in RMS. Okay, so now we're on the contract information tab. You'll note that some of the data is grayed out. Those fields are pulled in from other locations within RMS. For example, the contract delivery order number, you see up here on the top, and the contract office fields are both pulled from the contract description module. You're going to fill in contract data. Select which type of evaluation is being completed. Double check data that is pulled in from other areas. And if this is part of a termination, select the termination type. Okay, so now we're on the miscellaneous information tab. Here you can enter information about subcontractors that may have impacted the contractor's performance, either positively or negatively. Notice that you have both the DUNS number and the UEI number for each subcontractor that is being evaluated. When entering information, you can use the blue notebooks to the left of each text box to bring up a bigger editing text box. So here are the blue notebooks. Okay. Check with your contracting officer for further guidance. Okay, so now we're on the Small Business Utilization tab. You're going to click on the Contract Requires a Small Business Plan button if your contract requires it. The Ratings tab allows you to input the rating based upon the contractor's performance. You can rate the contractor's performance on their quality, schedule, cost control, management, small business, and regulatory work. There is also a section to rate the contractor on other areas that you wish to report based on their performance. The contractor can be rated using the Schedule Rating drop-down selection that includes ratings from unsatisfactory to exceptional. There's also an NA option if the rating is not applicable for the current assessment report. Now, the following slides provide you with detailed criteria that you can use when determining the appropriate rating for each of the 5 categories. I'm not going to read each of these sections, but please read these descriptions for a detailed explanation on each of the rating categories listed here and on the next slide. More information can also be found by viewing the FAR clause that I have listed on the bottom of the slide. Okay, now we've advanced to the Assessor tab. The Assessor tab contains information about who evaluated the contractor and who reviewed the report. After you've completed the contractor performance assessment report, you can export the report by clicking on the Export CPARs button located in the top right-hand corner. This will prompt the user to select an export location. The CPARs document will be exported in a text format. Okay, the last module we're going to cover is the warranty tracking module. The warranty tracking module allows users to create facilities, warranty items, and warranty inspections. Both the government and contractor can add warranty items and warranty inspection items. However, only the government can add facilities. So to access this module, again, you're going to open your contract, click on the Closeout tab, and then select the warranty tracking module. Upon entering the warranty tracking module, 3 tabs will be displayed: facility items, warranty items, and warranty inspection items. First tab, facility items, as previously stated, are only available in government mode and must be added prior to any warranty items. On this tab, the data grid displays a list of all of the facility items within the contract. The warranty items tab contains a data grid with all of the warranty items within the contract. When adding a warranty item, you will be presented with a lookup to choose a facility item to associate the new warranty item. This lookup pulls from the list of facilities added on the facility tab. Now, RMS will automatically generate a new warranty item ID in sequential order. The Warranty Inspections tab contains a data grid with all the warranty tracking items within the contract. From the Facility Items tab, clicking on the Add button will prompt you for the phase that this item is associated with. You will then be asked to populate the facility short title field and then the warranty start date. You will then see the Facility Information Edit view, where you can modify the short title and the start of the warranty. You will also need to add the title, description, and duration, which would be in months, of this item. Now note that the description is required for the end date to show in the data grid for the warranty facilities. At the bottom, you can add any buildings that belong to this warranty item. Clicking the Add button will prompt you for the building number, which will then be added to the list of buildings. To add a warranty item, a facility lookup field will display. As stated before, if no facilities have been added, no warranty items will be able to be added by the contractor or the government. So simply select the facility and click on the OK button. Once the item has been added, double-click on its title in the data grid to bring up the warranty edit view. Here, you can set the description, location, status, dates, and evaluate the contractor performance on this specific item. Now note, when the status is set to either in review or non-warranty item, the only fields that display in the date section are the reported date and the government remarks. The Warranty Inspection tab contains a data grid with all the warranty tracking items within the contract. Clicking on the Add button will prompt users for a warranty title and then will open the Warranty Information Edit view. Here, you can indicate if this item requires 1 or both inspection periods by checking the 4 or 9-month inspection required checkboxes. Remember, though the sections say 4 or 9 months, you can set the actual interval dates in the inspection due date fields under each inspection section. After adding or editing a warranty inspection item, the Warranty Inspection Edit view will be opened. For each inspection required, you or the contractor can enter remarks and add any documents applicable to the inspection. There are also document packages for each inspection month period. The document package should include warranty documents and any other relevant supporting documents. Once the inspection has been completed and the Corps approves, then check the inspection complete box. So in summary, RMS provides for the input of data to allow the creation of all necessary closeout forms for a construction contract. Again, forms like real property items, real property transfer, the DD 1354, requisitions, DD 1149, the CPAR, which is DD 2626, and warranty tracking, inspection screens, and reports. So here are some additional references that you can use to assist you. Again, I'm not going to read each of them. And here are some helpful YouTube video links that you can reference when doing closeouts. So this concludes today's presentation. I would like to thank everyone for attending, and at this time, we'll open it up for questions.
All right, well, I don't hear any other questions, so I'm going to say thank you all for attending, and keep an eye out for this video in a few days on the YouTube channel. Thank you again for attending. Bye.